This is Ron Higgins, columnist for TigerDetails.com. I'm outside of Tiger Stadium here in police protection next to the TV truck loading up stuff after this LSU win over Mississippi State. LSU 31-16 after Mississippi State jumped out to a 13-0 lead. LSU went on a 31-3 run and closed the game. And if you're an LSU fan already with this 2022 team, you're kind of getting used to this. We'll stumble around for almost a half or 2.5 quarters, and then, hey, guess what? We'll play a fast tempo offense and just beat the hell out of them. I mean, I don't know what to say about this team other than the fact that I'm still kind of puzzled by it takes them a whole half to figure out that they play at a quicker tempo, they play better. And LSU did some things where they went to a quick tempo. They had max protection with 2 tight ends so they could throw the ball a bit better. But listen, this game turned around at the end of the first half when LSU went 75 yards in like 88 seconds. Jaden Daniels ran 3 times for 48 yards. I mean, basically he turns this game into a street ball game, Jaden Daniels. What he does. I expect him to tell Malik Neighbors go down to the Cadillac and butt hook around it on a pattern. He kind of turns these games up topsy-turvy, and then the other team has problems just kind of getting back into it. They don't know what to expect. The second half, LSU's offense was sharp, scored on its last 3 touchdowns, last 3 touchdown drives, and honestly, the defense was magnificent all night. I mean, they really did a great job on a state offense that averaged 44 points a game, put up some big numbers, and they did an absolute number on state quarterback Will Rogers, who was leading the SEC, averaging 383 yards a game passing, 78% passing percentage coming in, 9 touchdowns, and LSU held up to 24-42, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and they were in his face all night. They totally disrupted his timing. He missed receivers that were open time after time. LSU's pass defense in the secondary was tremendous. As this game went on in the second half, the defense got tougher and tougher. Look, this defense kept LSU in this game. When LSU's offense was doing what its offense has done in against Florida State and Mississippi State in the first half, just kind of mess around and not getting anything going. I think LSU's first 7 series were like 5 punts, I believe, involved in that. LSU's defense kept them in the game. This really good play. And as Will Rogers said, and with LSU's game plan, they executed perfectly defensively. Give him different looks pre-snap, and then go to something else after the ball snapped. And it really messed with him. He never really got in a rhythm. He looked uncomfortable back there throwing the ball. LSU's pass rush was fierce. Got in his face. I think LSU had 4 sacks. LSU had some fine individual games from a lot of people. Defensively, Jay Ward had 11 tackles, 1.5 tackles for loss, an interception, and a pass broken up. Michael Baskerville, who we figured would play a key role in this game. His pass coverage and his speed played right into the hands of the State's what State did offensively. He had 8 tackles, played really, really well. Major Burns 5 tackles, half tackle for loss, a pass breakup. LSU's defense was tremendous. Offensively, once they got going, the biggest thing, I guess, in the second half that was really, as far as LSU, good to see, was they closed this game out with a really good rushing attack. Armani Goodwin, 75 yards, 1 touchdown, and 9 carries. 47-yarder to close out the game with a touchdown. That was tremendous. John Emery saw his first action of the year, 11 carries for 32 yards. Caught 2 passes for 15 yards. And Josh Williams came to LSU as a walk-on, and he's always kind of been down on the depth chart, but all he does is produce when he gets in games. Now, this is a little-known fact, but he was LSU's leading and returning rusher coming back this year. Josh Williams, to me, had one of the best plays of the game. He carried the ball 1 time, a 7-yard touchdown where he just basically ran through a couple of defenders the last 3 yards to get the ball in the end zone when LSU really needed the most. I mean, that gave LSU a 24-16 lead, and they really needed that badly at that point to kind of get momentum. So LSU was a 2.5-point underdog, so this was I'm saying it was an upset. It was an upset in the sense that State had played really well their first 2 games and wins over Memphis and Arizona, and LSU kind of played a half of the game against Florida State and overwhelmed Southern last week, so you really didn't know what you were going to get with LSU. And what you got with LSU was kind of what you got against Florida State, except a little bit better in some areas. And listen, just based on talent alone, LSU should have won this game. I think that's no secret. LSU has better talent than Mississippi State. LSU has better talent than everybody in the SEC except for Alabama and Georgia. I mean, you look at recruiting classes and the rankings over the past decade. LSU really is probably the 3rd best school for recruits, and they haven't always produced here under the past coaches. This coaching staff is still trying to get used to these players. It's going to be like this all year, folks. I can't tell you what they're going to do from half to half, or series to series, or play to play, but as Ron Kelly said tonight, and I do agree with this, the one thing you know about this team, it will fight. It's going to fight you to the end, no matter how bad they play in the first half or whatever goes wrong. They're going to fight, and they're going to take it to the final whistle. And so tonight, it was a good night for LSU. They needed this win. It's gave them some confidence. They play New Mexico next week before they get back into conference play. But tonight here in Tiger Stadium, in a game they weren't favored, they sort of showed a lot of resilience, got down 13-0, 31-3 run, and it's pretty hard to top that. So anyway, that's Ron Higgins, Tiger Details. You'll see me again next week after the New Mexico game. Read all my stuff on TigerDetails.com, and I'm out of here. I'm looking for my police escort. It's not here yet. Oh well. See you next week.